Hello and welcome to the Remedy Fibers podcast, a podcast about knitting and crochet hosted by me, Jillian. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're a returner, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. So welcome back. I have a few finished objects, some works in progress. I also got to visit a local museum, an art gallery, as well as a yarn shop called Michael's. It's a big box yarn shop, but I take you along with me this weekend. So if you're interested, stay tuned. But if you're new here, I live in Northern California with my husband and dog Benny. I love everything yarn related, and I hope you stay for my yarn journey. So let's get right into it. I was able to be productive this weekend and made some finished objects. So let me show you what is hot off the needles, hot off the hooks. So first up is my granny stripe. Is it a granny stripe? No, this one is just a double crochet for lots of stitches. I finally finished it. I used up all my odds and ends, and the little piece that I showed you that was going to be part of a cardigan that I scrapped, I was able to unravel all of that. So this is how big the piece has gotten, and I'm not quite sure if I'm going to gift this away or hold on to it for a little bit. My gut feeling is to hold on to it for just a little bit more, but then gift it away to a fun, amazing cat that I have not met yet, but her name is so cute. So I was thinking of giving it to one of my coworkers who has a little kitty, but I really love it. It's big enough to be a shawl. I was even messing around and said if I sewed up the edges, it could be like a bolero shawl wrap sweater kind of thing. But it's so fun. The colors are so soothing. Pink and purple are my favorite colors. My favorite part is the other side. I had to include some non-superwash yarn in here, which I thought wasn't gonna fit, but I love how the light pink fits in the overall look of the shawl slash blanket. But it's just so pretty, so beautiful. And if you have odds and ends, scrap yarn left over, I just chained probably close to 80 stitches, 70 or 80 stitches, and did double crochet all over. There are a lot of trucks being really loud outside. So overall, I would recommend using your odds and ends, and in this case, I had a lot of pinks and purples odds and ends, so the color scheme works for me. But I think if I had orange, green, brown in this, I would not be a fan of it. So if you do decide, make sure the colors kind of go together, unless you just want a whole bunch of colors in the mix. But in this case, I love the color combination and how the colors flow together. The next finished object was a whim project. So I have a favorite YouTuber. She's a gamer called Cozy K, and in her whole aesthetic is cozy gaming, cozy aesthetic, cozy colors. And on her videos or on her Instagram, she has a mushroom pillow, and I was so inspired. I found a pattern and I went to Michael's over the weekend. They have so many yarns, so much new colors that I have not seen before, new colorways. I even saw that Loops and Thread had a new label to them, so I picked up some Bernat blanket yarn, but I also picked up some yellow and brown yarn for my sunshine blanket that I talked about last week. So I'm working on a crochet granny sunflower blanket, and I ran out of yarn, so I picked up some more. But in Michael's, there were a lot of sales. They had a 40% off coupon, a 20% off coupon, and I used both of them, of course. And now, since purchasing over the weekend, I have $5 to use on my next purchase. This weekend, I found a pattern on Etsy called the Porcini Mushroom. This pattern was $7, and they have a midi size mushroom and a mini size mushroom. So I'll include the designer and the link to the Etsy page, but it was very easy to follow. I would say this has been my first successful crochet pattern where I followed the instructions to the T. My count was exact every row, but I was counting along the way to make sure of that. Let me stop talking and show you this cute pillow. So this is my mushroom pillow. It's so cute. The top portion actually does not have any filling, only the stem has filling, and you start off with a magic ring, bring it out, bring it back in, then it kind of gets really small and narrow, and then grows wide, and then before you close it up, you fill it with filling with polyfill. I used Benny's toys that he has destroyed. I've gathered all of that filling to make this cutie pie. And I even seen mushrooms where I can add safety eyes and it can be like a little stuffy, but I don't know if I want to do it for this one. And when you do have it, it's able to stand up kind of on its own. You can see which way you want the top to fall, like whether you want it to be more mushroom like, whether you want it more flat. So I think this is going to be a gift to someone whose birthday is coming up, but I definitely have lots of yarn left over to make maybe 2, 3, 4 of these. So aren't they so cute? Let me know what you think about this little cutie guy. I definitely need one for my office, kind of just hanging out there. And I think when I make another one for myself, I would add the safety eyes just to give it that cute little amigurumi look, that little toy touch. So if you're interested, let me know if you would like to crochet this, because it's so cute, so fun, and so whimsical as well. So as for work in progress, I was able to find all of my crochet hooks. I misplaced them in a mystery bag, and I also was able to find the second frog that I told you I was working on. So it's pretty much all done. All I have to do is crochet another leg, add the eyes, the mouth, and the little cheeks, and an outfit for this little cutie pie. And this is a crochet pattern. I include the information in last week's video, but I can also include it here as well. There is a YouTube tutorial. That's how I found this pattern, and easy to follow, easy to watch, and it's really cute, really fun. I'm also going to include that safety pin so it could kind of hang on the bag. So I'm not quite happy with how this one turned out. I think I was distracted when I was making this one because the body is longer than it's supposed to be. But I plan on finishing this one and making another one because it's just so sweet. I need one for my office as well. So next up, I have one work in progress, and then I'll talk about one future project that I'll probably be casting on this week. So the first work in progress that I have is my ranunculus. I was able to cast on using that lime green color in the cotton blend. And this yarn I picked up when I went to Oakland, I believe. So if you go back in my videos, that was very long ago, very long time ago. And I decided to cast on. I struggled with the provisional cast on. There was like a big hole somewhere and it was really getting me frustrated. I think I cast on, ripped it out, cast on, ripped it out 3 or 4 times, and around the 4th time I said screw it, I'm just gonna add a stitch here, because you're supposed to have a certain number when you cast on, and for some reason I kept losing a stitch. So far so good. This is the 3rd time that I'm doing the ranunculus. 3rd time's a charm, because every time I did it before, this 4 little leaf repeat was always uncensored, and so this time I got it right. So I'm in the part where I'm still working on the pattern design. Of course, I'm in the middle of a row, but I don't have high expectations on this. Either I love it or I'll gift it away. Maybe I'll gift it to one of you. But I'm gonna finish it, see how it looks, block it, and hopefully wear it a little bit while it's still hot outside. If not, it's going to a beautiful home, maybe one of your homes. But I really wanted to work on the ranunculus as well as use this yarn that's been sitting in storage for a couple of months. So let me know what you think about the ranunculus. I would not be able to knit the ranunculus if it wasn't for Dragon Tips and Tricks. She has a YouTube channel. She doesn't give you the pattern, but walks you through step by step, especially what the acronyms mean. There's lots of abbreviations, lots of acronyms, steps that I've never done before. So if it wasn't for Dragon Tips and Tricks, I would have scrapped that pattern. So I'm a very visual learner, and that's how I like to read my patterns. I don't always need a video to make patterns. Like for this one, for example, there is no video and I was able to follow it. But I think that falls heavily on how descriptive and how well written the pattern is for my learning style. So no shade on other designers, but I really need clear, concise instructions or videos that go along with it to help me understand what I'm doing, because the ranunculus is a little bit daunting, a little bit intimidating. But Dragon Tips and Tricks, I'll include her links down below because she has a whole series of how, basically step by step on how to knit the ranunculus, and that's how I'm able to knit the pattern 3 times. I still go back to the videos even with the 3rd time of me knitting it. I still go back to those videos. So lastly, I have yarn that's been sitting in stash, I want to say since last August, since last summer, and this is from Terrapin Fiber Arts, and she's actually having a sale right now. And what I love about Terrapin is that they're summer fibers, cotton, tencel, cotton blends. And so if you're living in a hot climate or want fibers for the summer, this is a great fiber artist to work with. And I love how variegated it is. I love the purple. And so this has been sitting in stash for a while. Even though I love purple, I'm not quite sure why it's been sitting for so long. So I think I was just waiting for the right pattern to come into my life. And as of right now, it might change my mind, but as of right now, I'll be working on the Captiva crop. And this is by Murphy Made Crochet. And even though the pattern is black and white, I will include a picture, but you can kind of see that it has these eyelets. It's very summery, very flowy. It does ask for light fingering weight, which is what this is. And I believe I have the right yardage. Sometimes I'm in a race to play yarn chicken. I'm trying to see if there's any other photos. There isn't much in this pattern. So the reason why I say for now I'll be using this crochet pattern, it goes back to how easy to read the instructions are. And I feel like I'm really gaining my confidence in reading crochet patterns. I watched through last week's episode, and even though I have it as knitting podcast, everything I showed was crochet. So I was like, was it a knitting podcast? It was a crochet podcast, because literally everything, this was crochet. What else was I working on? The frog was crochet. I don't know. If you watch last week's episode, you will see that everything I showed was crochet. And I'm just at that point where, I'm sorry knitters, but crochet is giving me life. It's so fun, it's so whimsical, it's so freeing, it's so liberating. If you've been wanting to learn how to crochet, this is the plug to take that class and venture into it. Look at this little coaster. I have this little coaster just sitting here. It's actually a swatch, but I use it as a coaster since it's so perfect and cute. But crochet is really just speaking to me, giving me life. I went to this knitting project, the Ranunculus, and I was like, I don't want to read a pattern. I don't want to. Right now, crochet is my #1 love. I'm sorry, my knitting friends out there. I still love you. But crochet is just giving me the energy that I need to create and craft. So stay tuned whether I find success in the Captiva crop. I will include pictures as well as my progress along the way, but I'm going to cast this on this week because I feel like the ranunculus will be done faster than I realized, since it's really the only project I have going right now. And I like to have a knitting project and a crochet project if possible, if time allows. So as for life update, I was able to visit a gallery over the weekend. They had artists from all over the West Coast, as well as focusing on BIPOC artists, so artists of Korean background, Latinx background. There were pieces with grass that represented the wild forest fires. There were pieces that represented times during COVID, and I really like just seeing the gallery and being with artwork. They also had a little gift shop with really cute earrings, so I'm gonna have to work my way back. They even had jewelry for your plants, like a jewelry stick you stick in the soil of the plants. I should have got that. It was so cute. But if you find a gallery or museum near you, it's something fun to do during the weekend because it is free. And I just like to do something different, be in art, be with art. And I think that also motivated me to adventure in new projects such as my little tiny mushroom pillow. Other than that, the academic year is going to be picking up soon, so I hope that I will be continued to make time for knitting and crochet just because it gives me so much relaxation. But overall, I'm excited to start the fall season and get started with students coming back, students moving in. You might have heard all of the noise in the background just because it's getting more active and more lively. People are coming back to campus. But that's all that I have for this week. I just want to thank everyone who tuned into last week's episode after my long 4-month hiatus, and I appreciate all the comments, the engagement, the interaction, and I hope that you're enjoying this week's content as well. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope to see you next week. I hope that you and your family are happy, healthy, and safe, and talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.